It's Monday night. Welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. My name is Tom Connors. Robin Mecker on vacation. So I got a few special guests with me tonight. With me as always is Mr. Script Doctor. How you doing, Script Doctor? He can't answer me yet. I forgot. Here, I'll unmute him. I can't. He's got to do it himself. All right. Well, hello, Script Doctor. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How's everybody else doing tonight?
Great. We got John Trent from Bounding into Comics. How you doing?
Woo-hoo. Doing great. Very busy. Very busy.
Welcome back to YouTube, and congratulations.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah, for those of you who may not know what I mean, John, of course, recently just had a new addition to the family. Gary, welcome also as well from Pop Culture Minefield. How you doing?
Pretty good, buddy.
Great, glad to hear. Yeah, we've got some news to talk about. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. But did you all enjoy the WandaVision trailer? That's the question. We'll get into that. And also, we got some Star Trek news or non-news, Dark Crystal news, and stuff like that. So, let's get right into this. Star Trek 4 canceled. Well, we kind of already know Star Trek 4 is kind of canceled.
Yeah, that's been canceled for a while, I think.
I love it when they just keep reusing the same headlines.
Right. But yeah, the funny thing about this one was... what is the name of that? I can't remember the name of the big dead robot or whatever the hell their name is. Big bad robot.
Big bad robot.
No. It's a news organization. I don't know. Anyway, they put out a story earlier saying there's going to be no more Star Trek movies, and then Screen Rant picked up on it, but then they did an update, and it's a bunch of nonsense. But Star Trek 4 is rumored to be canceled. We already figured that. With normal movies in development, that's not 100% true. After establishing its place in pop culture television, blah 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 blah. Yeah, this is a non-story. So
giant
all this
freaking robot. Right?
Yeah, giant freaking robot. That's it. Thank you so much, John. They're the ones who I think first put this rumor out there. And that's really all it was a big ass rumor, because just recently Emma Watts herself was just talking about this. Now, actually, I guess I'm not going to say this is a big ass rumor. There may be some validity to this situation, and I don't think that they're ready to jump full blower.
Not ready to engage warp engines yet.
Yeah, into a Star Trek movie, but there may be things going on other planes. But for now, I just want to get everybody's quick kind of feelings on this. John, you guys have been reporting on this stuff for just as long as we have. You giggled and said the same thing I did about Star Trek 4 has been dead for a while. What's your reception of what is exactly going on over there behind the scenes at Paramount with all this stuff?
So, I mean, I think the story's changed a little bit probably over the past year. I think initially the movie was dead in the water because Pine and Hemsworth, and this was reported in the trades, Pine and Hemsworth walked away over a contract dispute, meaning Paramount didn't have any money, didn't have enough money to pay them what they were asking. And obviously Hemsworth and Pine are huge stars, both in Pine's in Wonder Woman now, and Hemsworth is the face of Thor and one of the main characters in the Avengers. So they're trying to get big money from Star Trek, which doesn't pull in the big money like those Marvel films do. And Simon Pegg even talked about that recently too, where he was giving an update saying he hasn't heard anything about Star Trek 4. He doesn't even know what's going on. And then we got the latest update on Noah Hawley's film was saying that they're recasting. It's not Kirk, it's not Picard, it's a new crew, and seemingly with a new cast, so you wouldn't be having the Star Trek 4 anyways. And I think Pegg said they also lost a lot of the wind out of their sails when his name escapes me right now, but the actor who played
Anton Yelchin.
Anton Yelchin,
Anton Yelchin, yes, passed away, and I think that was a big blow to them. But they also, I mean, just look at the cast right there. You got the picture up, but those are all all of those guys are pretty much big name actors, and they're probably all going to get paid. I mean, Zoe Saldana is obviously Gamora.
Yeah, basically the five
yeah.
you got on screen there, besides Anton, who's no longer with us. But yeah, those five there are arguably A and B list actors, that are going to cost you a ton. Even Zachary Quinto, who may not be as high level as some of these guys on screen, he's still up there.
His acting is phenomenal, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as him having the career,
right?
Past,
he's doing a lot more indie stuff now. I think he does a lot of them. I think he's doing some kind of like Nosferatu or something, some horror show. I think he's like the main villain.
It's Stephen King's boys book. And
the Key, something but the Key, right?
No, the Nosferatu.
Oh, okay.
Nosferatu.
They're in season 2, and I didn't think it was very good. I watched season 1 and was like, meh. I've
just seen the commercials. And he's in there. He looks like he's playing Sylar from Heroes, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think the latest thing we actually heard with Star Trek film news was a Variety report. And even then, that was a rumor, too, indicating that there's some internal struggle going on. And I think that was kind of part of the Holly update where you got some quotes from Holly, but a lot of it was seemingly rumor and speculation from I think it was Variety, where they were saying that, what is the Paramount president's name? Emma something?
Emma Watts.
Yeah,
Emma Watts, yeah. They're saying that she's basically putting everything Star Trek kind of on pause and looking at what it all looks like following the merger with Viacom CBS. And if you know anything about like these huge mergers, they always cut the fat. You saw that when Disney merged with Fox. There was a ton of layoffs, and I think there's probably still going through that because these are huge organizations that take a lot to really look at and have your bean counters go through and see what's worth keeping and what isn't. And even I've heard a lot of people say, even if stuff is making money, if it's not making enough money, if it's not making as much money as they want it to make, sometimes these people will still axe that stuff, even if it is profitable.
Well, you got to remember that Sherry Redstone is the person trying to save Star Trek, and she hired or brought in Emma Watts to basically figure out how to deal with the Alex Kurtzman problem, which is the contract that he got from Les Moonves as a last minute fuck you from Les before he left. And it's a nearly bulletproof contract that just gives him everything if they break with him. But they're trying to find a way of dealing with him. And I think one of the ways, and I don't know what others think, but I think that one of the things that Keith and I have talked about on our show is the fact that they could try to starve him out by, go ahead and make what you're going to do. Nothing in the contract says we have to put it on.
That's
like they can pitch and do everything. They just don't have to green light.
Yep.
That's one way. I think there's another way, and if the people on YouTube and Twitter want to just at Emma Watts, tell her that Script Doctor has a plan to save Star Trek. We can. I have one thing that's part of because I haven't seen the contract, but I suspect there's one loophole in there that could allow for Star Trek to be relatively taken away from Alex Kurtzman without violating Kurtzman's contract.
Yeah, and I think that they're trying to look at every avenue because. Between him and JJ, because everybody can say that he's not involved, they're still dealing with JJ. JJ is still part of that contract, and they're trying to find a way to get away from him and get away from Kurtzman to bring Star Trek back to what it was meant to be, the jewel of CBS and Paramount Viacom.
Well, there's a lot going on right now, and those who were asking about my tweet earlier, Script and I are working on some things. We're waiting on some confirmations on some things. We can't really get into it right now because I don't want to get into it before we really have a bird's eye view of what the fuck is going on. But there is something going on behind the scenes at Star Trek. We don't know what. But if you've not noticed, a name that has been significantly reduced is Alex Kurtzman.
Yep.
When Emma Watts talked to, what was it, Variety? Was that who she talked to originally, John?
Yeah, I think
you remember?
Variety.
I don't know if she actually said anything. I think.
Oh yeah, I think they actually talked to her. I thought, but
I know the last one with Holly, it was just kind of speculation.
Oh no! This was
but
before that.
Oh wait, there was. Yeah, I do think there was something where she was saying she was looking at what to do, but she didn't like say
That's
anything.
the one I'm
valid.
talking about.
And that's the one. And she, of course, never brought Alex Kurtzman's name.
Oh, right. It was both an admission that there was something wrong with Trek, and it was also a glaring omission that she didn't say anything about Kurtzman, which is almost as bad mouthing him. Because if you have somebody who's the head of your television thing and you're talking about Star Trek, you would at least say, oh, well, you know, Alex has got everything under control over there. We're just looking what we can do over here at Paramount. That's not what she said. She never mentioned Kurtzman once. So that's what's really odd about that whole thing, you know, because that's almost, like I said, as bad as basically, you know, giving him the cold shoulder. I mean, what do you guys think about that script? We haven't heard from you yet, and then we'll go back down the board.
Well, I think the fact that she doesn't prop up some of, like, Kurtzman as part of the staff of Paramount, CBS, Viacom, that whole new entity with regards to the responsibilities of Star Trek and to the other franchises he wants to do production says a lot, because it's usually one of the things a president of a network or a studio would say is like, hey, we got this guy, this girl working in this department. They're either doing a great job or they got great new ideas that we're ready to go ahead with. Like, that's kind of the talking points you hear in interviews of this type, but they were completely completely removed from this interview. They weren't even, no traces of it at all. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that she doesn't say anything of that nature. And I am still in the process of finding her email address to send her some stuff. So
there you go.
If anyone has it, just DM me. They're open.
We're trying.
I'm actually surprised that fans haven't en masse tried to get hold of Sherry Redstone.
Well, she's a bit. I doubt she even touches any.
I bet she has a lot of people in between her and fans.
Right. I mean, yeah.
For all the right reasons and some wrong. So that's quite okay for her.
Yeah, there's always going to be that one person. Hey, Sherry, can I smell your underwear?
Or at least kiss her ass, anyway.
Right. I'm not saying who would do it, but John?
No. No thanks.
I think the only way John really knows me is I'm probably one of the bigger smartasses that comments on his news posts. I always say something really maliciously funny.
I'll be honest, I don't read a lot of the comments.
Oh, you miss some good ones,
after
buddy.
a while.
You get so many and they kind of blend together. I mean, I do see some because I obviously respond to some, but yeah, I don't read a whole lot of them, especially if they're on the actual site. I mainly the Facebook group and Twitter.
Yeah, there'll be some more about this in the next few days. We're looking into some things, like I said, so we'll definitely get into more of that. But on some other news here, those who are fans of the Dark Crystal, it looks like it has been canceled over at Netflix there, the prequel that is. After one season, Netflix will not be returning to the planet of Thra. The streamer has canceled the fantasy puppet series Dark Crystal: The Age of Resistance after only one season. The show was a prequel series to the original 1982 Jim Henson film, which tells the story of a group of young gelflings who discover that their overlords, the evil, hideous Skeksis, are duplicitous, and plan to consume their subjects' life energy via the Dark Crystal in order to fuel their own. We can confirm that there will not be an additional season of the Dark Crystal. We know fans are eager to learn how this chapter of the Dark Crystal saga concludes, and we'll look for ways to tell that story in the future, said executive producer Lisa Henson, who I believe is also Jim Henson's daughter. Our company has a legacy of creating rich and complex worlds that require technical innovation, artistic excellence, and masterful storytelling. Anyway, basically what she's saying is they're gonna shop around, try and find somewhere else for this to go. Basically, what this tells me is they just didn't get they must not have got the views that Netflix was hoping for. What do you guys think?
I think it's an extremely expensive production too, with all the puppetry.
That's the number one, and number two is Henson has a close relationship with Disney, and so I'm curious of what impact that had on this decision.
Well, I don't know. What do you think, Script?
It's quite possible. I mean, I can see Disney wanting to pick it up because they're desperate for content, and I imagine, because I have to try and go back into the Wayback Machine, just remember, because I think Dark Crystal was announced and put into production while there was still a Disney Netflix deal, if I'm memory serves. This was back in the days when Netflix and Marvel were doing their shows. I think that's when it was pre-production began.
Disney was still licensing their films.
Yeah.
So
but,
it
I mean,
seems logical that if they didn't have to do a second season, that was their out.
Well, from this article, I haven't seen the show yet. I don't know if do they wrap up the story in that.
I felt it pretty much ended where the movie would pretty much begin.
Okay,
so
well,
I did not expect another season.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, and they're even saying that they're going to try and end that story some way. If that's the case, then who cares? I mean, you've got 10 hours. I mean,
plus I think they have a video game too, don't they?
I think so. I mean, there's been books, there's been other things too. It's hard to say. I mean, I really want to see it. Now I'm sad that if it leaves it hanging, though, that I'm not even going to want to bother. But if you're right, Gary, if it leads right up to where you think the movie would pretty much begin, or the story's filled up.
Pretty much everything that happens at the end of the series is what's going on in the movie. So I just assumed that was just going to be a limited series. And I'm just surprised that they were planning a second season. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you trying to shop it like Karate or like Cobra Kai, or is that season going to stay on Netflix like the Marvel?
They should take this to Disney. This is an obvious Disney one, in my opinion.
Yeah, if Disney's interested.
Does Netflix ever like get rid of their programming though? I don't think I've ever seen anything leave Netflix and go to another.
That's a good point, John. Not that in my recollection. Trying to think. Not that I know of. Adam Wolford, I did get your tweet, but I wasn't 100% sure on what you were getting at. I did send you a DM. I don't know if you saw that in the chat earlier, but I just wanted to address that real quick. And then we had another super chat come in here from Nicholas Horton. Sends in £5, says the canceled sequel to The Dark Crystal was revived as a comic series. Yeah, I do remember that, now that you say that. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody here in the chat who's more up on that, if they know if there, because it's just funny that Lisa would say that if there really wasn't meant to be any other story after this. It just doesn't make no sense.
Well, I'm sure they were planning on something. It's just I didn't expect it because it felt like, okay, that's the build up to what we see in the film. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, it's sad. I feel bad for fans of the show. I haven't got a chance to check it out yet. I love the movie. I've never been not a fan. I just haven't had 10 hours to address the series. Have you seen it at all, Script?
No, I haven't seen it. I
thought the pacing was slow, personally.
Yeah. I mean, I saw The Dark Crystal as a kid, but it never had anything about it to make me go back to watch it again. But I might one day down the road.
I was a big fan of Brian Froud's artwork, and that's really the only reason why I saw the movie. It's not a film I ever wanted to own or see more than maybe, I think I've seen it twice. I get that a lot of people like it. It's just never my cup of tea.
All right. Well, sorry about that, folks. If you're a fan, hopefully they will find a new home for it. There's a few people saying there was a bit more to tell in the story, I guess. So hopefully those who wanted that, maybe that's a situation where Disney will maybe pick up on it or something like that. Unless anybody else has anything to say to that. Should we move on to the WandaVision trailer?
Sure, man.
Yeah.
I know we're like just buzzing through. There really wasn't much for news this week, though. Or this today. The WandaVision trailer. Stories. Yeah, you had a couple. Yeah, we can bring in whatever you got too, John.
Yeah.
This new WandaVision trailer, though, I was very intrigued by it, and I had kind of an idea where I said they may be getting into the multiverse, and then there's this scene right here where she's actually doing like the whole. I'm going to play just a little short clip of it, where she does the whole like Doctor Strange thing. Did you guys see that?
She changes the furniture.
But if you continue, I think the multiverse is more if you continue where you see Monica or someone The assumption is this person is flying through a dimension or something like.
Yeah, there was that too, and I brought that up last night.
Yeah, because that's Monica Rambeau.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the assumption because that's who they show right there. Is that her? Like I couldn't.
Yeah,
tell
that's
if that
her.
was flying through there.
That's the same costume. Yeah.
Yeah.
My buddy over at Heavy Spoilers did a really good breakdown of the trailer. If you guys haven't seen it.
So what? She was pulled from the 80s, from the 90s to the 70s, and then back to the present.
What they're suggesting is that she is working for SWORD. That's who all that military personnel is, and that they had sent her through this force that's protecting that. She has the ability to go through there, and she is expelled from that universe by either Wanda or that witch.
Agatha Harkness.
Yeah, Agatha.
Her laugh is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
I love her laugh. Fantastic.
Is that Anna Gasteyer that's playing her?
Yes. No, oh my God, I love her.
Yeah,
she's so funny.
She's rumored to be Agatha Harkness. I guess I shouldn't say that she is. That's the rumor.
Yeah, that is the rumor.
All right. I mean, overall, I thought it looked interesting. I mean, what was your guys' takes on it?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's it was better than I expected. This is very cinematic, so you can tell that Disney's given the money over to. Oh, we have a guest.
Welcome, Jesse. How you doing?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I can't complain.
I think the biggest part for me was that the mom from That 70s Show was on it, Kitty, and she's absolutely fantastic on That 70s Show. It's one of my favorite sitcoms.
I can't picture her in anything else. She's Kitty.
Yeah, I've seen her on. I saw her on Friends as another character.
Oh,
and
shit! You're right.
Yeah, she plays like the older mom who's trying to get pregnant, or they're trying to do a surrogate or whatever. Right?
She was with Phoebe's brother getting married.
Yeah,
gonna have a baby. Oh wait, Phoebe's got to carry it.
But she's totally the mom from That 70s Show, and I really like that. I was like, I did not know she was even a part of this show, so I thought that really got me interested. Definitely plays up the sitcom style that they're going to try and go.
Yeah, they've got Bewitched, Dick Van Dyke Show stuff references.
Roseanne.
Oh my God, some great stuff in there. And of course, the Halloween episode is one I'm really looking forward to, where he and she are dressed up as their comic book costumes.
Yeah, I saw some people were like complaining about that, saying like, "Oh, look at how like cheaply they did the costumes." I thought it looked fine. I wasn't like.
Looks like a Halloween costume.
Yeah, it looked like a Halloween costume that you would get at like a Walmart or a Target.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it looks like that bit takes place during Halloween too, if I'm not mistaken.
At least during.
Yeah, they're probably going to do a little homage to Stranger Things in some regard.
Or E.T.
Yeah. Or E.T.
Yeah. Oh, and the name of that wine is, I think it's contempt, in the French word for contempt.
Oh, the wine that she's pouring?
Yeah, see, it's Halloween going on.
Yeah, for sure. I did see in the chat here that the actress is Catherine Hahn, who's there. That's Catherine Hahn. Who's
that her?
Agatha Harkness. She was in that
Step Brothers.
Yeah, she's in Step Brothers. She was also in that one where she there's like the drunk moms or whatever, and they have like a they take over the PTA.
Oh, Bad Moms.
Bad Moms. The first one was actually quite funny.
Which is
yeah, I did enjoy the first Bad Moms. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people were just kind of like, "Huh, what?" when they first saw this, and then that one bit where this scene comes up, and she's like, "Am I dead?" and he's like, "No, why would you say that? Because you are." So obviously, this takes place after Endgame, and or at least Infinity War, anyway. And I feel like there's a lot going on here. I had talked about this last night. I can't remember what the hell podcast was on while we were on Lorena's thing when it popped up, I believe.
Can I ask a question? Is this going to be some kind of thing where, this is all inside of his head because he's dead and he's got to come back to life?
No, it's not exactly.
Her head, I think.
Yeah, she created this world, and it exists so much so that they sent Rambeau in. I forget her first name. Monica Rambeau?
Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau.
She eventually becomes Captain Marvel.
She broke the force
Are they doing
field.
something like that Natalie Portman film?
I think it has to do with multiverses.
This,
I think it has to do with multiverses, and this is how they're going to bring back Vision. Because that's where I was bringing up the whole part with Wanda doing like the whole Doctor Strange bit thing with her hands.
And on top of that, they do show the kids in this. And
Wiki
one of
and
the
Speed.
rumors that I've been paying attention to is the possibility that it's through this show that the mutants get included into the new MCU.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
That sounds
that's possible.
cheap to me.
I know the rumor that it is that Agatha Harkness convinces Wanda, or it's possible that she creates it herself. They create a pocket dimension where she uses Wanda. She wants Wanda to like raise their kids so she can like sacrifice them to like steal their powers or something like that. With a kind of a crazy adaptation of an old Scarlet Witch story where her kids have the souls of what's his name, the devil in Marvel Comics, whose name I'm totally blanking on.
Mephisto?
They do.
Oh,
Mephistopheles?
Yeah, Mephisto. Yeah, that's it. Mephisto. So you might get some supernatural stuff too. And then obviously the show's supposed to lead into Doctor Strange, where
Right.
I think the idea is that Scarlet Witch is kind of one of the main antagonists
Shattering
in
the
Doctor
universe.
Strange because she's gone. She's lost her marbles, which to me that's probably the biggest leap in this, because you had that really nice scene with her and Hawkeye at the end of Endgame, where they were like comforting each other and they seemed to be moving past Vision, and then basically she's not over Vision anymore. So, but I guess that's the same issue with Captain America going back to
Right.
Peggy. So they're not afraid to rewrite the romantic people moving past the romantic relationships.
So Adam Wilford sends in $5, says Wanda was born with reality bending powers and chaotic magic, but also there is an Easter egg for the House of M. She is the most powerful Avenger. Yeah.
It's on the wine
too.
bottle again.
Yeah.
There's a big M on the bottle.
Let me see if I can find that.
I mean, Elizabeth Olsen talked about that's the storyline she would want to adapt if she was going to do a show with Wanda and continue her. She really wanted to do House of M. So
There it is. Yep.
that makes sense.
Oh, Mepri.
Yeah, Mepri, as I recall, that means contempt, doesn't it?
That does, yes.
Interesting.
Where is it from?
And of
Oh,
course
it's
the other
fictional
part of the
line.
name, the other part of the name is
Well,
House
right,
of.
but
House of Contempt is the name of the wine.
okay, so there you go. House of M, Planet M.
Maison de Mepris.
Yeah, Chris Neville is saying that it's entirely believable that Xavier could have hidden mutants' existence from everyone. If you remember, the first Iron Man does have the SR-71, I think, Blackbird in it. So there is like a really tiny Easter egg. And then Feige released that clip of Samuel L. Jackson reading the end credit scene where he includes mutants when he's talking to
Tony Stark, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, for me, I think the trailer is intriguing. It doesn't like give a lot away. I mean, obviously we have questions about it. We're talking about it.
Well, it's like how is he existing? How, what is it that they're doing there? Because the stone is gone. So
well, looks like it's there.
It's there in this universe. So how are they pulling it out in this pocket of the universe that they're in? How did they find that stone and bring it back? That's the mystery for me that I'm.
You're muted, Jesse, if you're trying to talk.
Well, I mean, how does I mean, yeah, I guess they have to return that. Yeah, Captain America had to return the stone. So from maybe that timeline, she rescued Vision.
Yeah, but if Thanos snaps his fingers, doesn't that mean that he eliminates half of all life? But that
from that dimension,
isn't necessarily. Yeah, but is it just this dimension? Because it's
if the dimension itself is outside of
infinity
time,
stones. They're not finite stones.
Well, yeah.
Well, that doesn't.
Well, they go
matter
to the dimensions to
undid
get the
snap
stones to
anyways.
correct it. So clearly, it's only one dimension. He wiped out all life in.
Yeah, they undid that anyways.
Well, yeah, there's all kinds of. The multiverse is just that. It's a multiverse.
Yeah, it's
So
not
there's
like
infinite
DC where the
possibilities, yeah.
I guess they have. DC usually embraces their multiverse a little bit more, where they have the Anti-Monitor who literally goes around consuming all the universes. Marvel doesn't really have anyone like really that bad. I think the Fantastic Four are more usually who you see exploring the multiverse. I think even in the new run, they're like seeding the multiverse with different planets using what's his name? The super powerful mutant who's their son. He's the one who's like creating the universes, and then they're putting them out into the world.
Oh, you're not talking about. Oh shit, what's his name? Somebody in the chat. I'll remember before I do.
The only one I remember is Professor X's son Proteus, but that's wrong.
Yeah, no, it's Reed Richards' kid.
was
it's
that
not the
Frank?
daughter, it's the son. Yeah, Franklin. That's it. Thank you, Franklin Richards. He's just, I think he's like creating universes now.
Well, there was some kind of that bounced off of this. I don't know if you covered the story or not, John, over there. I was looking for it right now. I'm bounding, and I don't see it. But there was some crazy rumor going around that they're actually going to try and get Tom Cruise to play a multiverse version of Iron Man. I call bullshit on that, but
That sounds like a terrible idea.
I assigned that to one of our writers. He just hasn't put it up. He hasn't gotten to it yet. But yeah, I haven't looked into it. But I don't know.
If you want to make money,
Tom Cruise is a huge name.
With a 10-foot
I mean,
pole.
he walked away from playing the Green Lantern because they were going to kill him halfway through the film.
Well, he was actually up for the part originally, like a long time ago, or at least in negotiations, way back when, before RDJ got involved. And welcome, Ords Boards. How you doing?
Yo, I'm great, man. How are you guys?
Hang in there. How you doing, man?
Have a good night.
But we're just talking Marvel right now. But no, I call complete bullshit unless it's like a small cameo kind of appearance thing, because I really just don't see them bringing Tom Cruise in at this point.
Yeah, I missed
When I see Tom Cruise's face, my brain goes, ugh. It's kind of like that meme
Why?
of Robert Downey Jr. rolling his eyes. That's my brain when I see Tom Cruise. All I think is, oh, the Scientology weirdo. I don't want to get a movie sullied.
It
with
sounds just like somebody who remembers the old rumor wants to do some dream casting to me.
I don't know. I mean, Tom Cruise is a great actor. He definitely showed.
Well,
that
yeah,
he
that's
can
not the
do a lot of
point,
different
though.
things. I mean, they went and got Angelina Jolie to do Eternals, so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
No, but my
Personally.
point is we've never seen in the multiverse where there's somebody else playing the character like in the DC universe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
when
what
you
I'm
go to a
getting
new
at.
dimension, you
From
just
Terrence
get a
Howard.
goatee.
Well, and that's just because of recasting, period. That doesn't matter. Goddess of Whim sends in $5. I have a theory that the Eternals are going to recreate the stones and give Strange the Time Stone back, and they won't tell him where the others are. Well, Strange will get the Time Stone back, because that's the thing, is that Steve has to replace them wherever they came from, so he has to go back and give it back to what's-her-face, the
ancient
the
one.
leader, the ancient one. That's it. And so it'll still be there for when Doctor Strange gets the stone. It's just they can't not put him back to where they got him from. Was the whole point? Yeah, you can't disrupt the time.
No, I think that's just where we're also kind of confused, because the time travel in game makes absolutely no sense.
It does, but it doesn't. It has half makes sense, and then the other half doesn't. I agree with that. I've watched it a couple times now, and there's certain things that do, but
The way they explain it is that by going into the past, they create a new timeline, aka like a new universe.
kind of, sort of,
Future
yeah.
2 style.
But see, the whole thing was that Steve still had to go put the stones back, and I had a theory that between Black Widow, this series, the Loki series, some other things we're going to see may lead up to us finding out what repercussions that has, or what that has to do with, and then maybe we'll even see an not Iron Man, but a Captain America side of the whole story too, eventually, maybe in a movie.
Is it just me, or like am I getting the only one getting the feeling that they're gonna basically make Endgame and all of that, Infinity War, all that completely, like, no reason for it to even really happen in the first place?
Well,
No, I think they're going to have to embrace
Not
Captain
exactly.
America
see, if they
messing
can
up
use time travel, why not just
stones.
go back to the beginning of Endgame when Thanos was beating up Thor, and just have Thor kill Thanos, because Thor kicked Thanos' ass at the end, and the power of Thor is in Thor, not in a stupid little hammer.
Because that would make sense. No, it's a convoluted way they did it. I agree with John on that. But what you're setting up here is like in Guardians 3, what I heard the story is going to revolve around is Star-Lord wants to go get his Gamora back. He doesn't like the one they have now. So he wants to find a way to go get the original Gamora out of the Soul Stone. So I think that's going to set up the whole thing. And like I said, I think there's gonna be a tease. It may not be a main part of the story, but I have a feeling there's gonna be a tease in Black Widow that she may be coming back. And how that works is, if you take the Soul Stone, you have to leave something behind. But we've never known what happens if you bring the stone back. You know what I mean?
See, that makes sense because Star-Lord is very much a heart-based character.
Well, not only that,
to be replaced with some weird version of your lover.
The explanation we were given to where all the people who disappeared were for 5 years is that they were in the Soul Stone. So, I mean, there's precedence for that.
Who
So
said
I don't
that?
know.
I thought they were just.
I thought that was Raw. No, I thought that was what's the face? The director said that. Let me see if I can find that quick.
Yeah, I thought they were just erased. They
snapping out of existence. It sounds
they were
very
just snapped
final.
out of existence. I don't think they were in the Soul Stone. I think he talks about saying that like Thanos is having that vision kind of in the Soul Stone when he's making the decision to snap half of all life out in
with the young
Infinity
Gamora.
War. Yeah, I think they talk about that there, but I don't think the people who are snapped out go inside the Infinity Stone. That's what happens in the comic.
They don't go out of existence. They was like this is what Russo said. Said they didn't know what happened. It's as if they just wake up from a long sleep. The only one who was aware about how many years has passed was Doctor Strange because he has already been that when he was because he saw the vision. Right. So I'll have to look deeper in that, but that could have been I got mixed up between the two. But even if so, that still matches up with the possibility that that's how Star-Lord could be able to go back. He'd have to probably find the Soul Stone again and find a way of getting her back. I'm imagining as to wherever it is at that point in this timeline. I have no idea. I'd have to go back and figure that out.
I mean, Endgame even retconned how you obtain the Soul Stone because you have to like sacrifice the thing you love the most, or whatever. And in Endgame, like it's Hawkeye and Black Widow trying to self-sacrifice themselves.
Well, yeah.
Here's a little side note. What if the one thing that Star-Lord has to give up is the headset, the cassette player? The one thing that he loves more than anything else is that cassette player, right? What if he has to give that up?
Symbolizing his mother, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like letting that go and moving on. I don't know. Just a little side note. Something else.
That's a possibility.
You mean like he returns
the
the Soul Stone and Black Widow's what comes out, but Gamora's not there?
Oh wow!
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of what was it? Fear Itself, that storyline from Marvel Comics where they were all losing. They were going to get beat. So Tony Stark goes before Odin and he says, I need your help. And he's like, I'm going to sacrifice the only thing that means anything to me. And he just pops a bottle and starts jugging it. Because, the only thing that really meant anything to him was his sobriety. But then it was cool because he was like, I don't really want your help. I just want your workshop.
Miguel Hernandez sends in $5. Adam Warlock is supposed to be the master of the Soul Stone. He was directly referenced. It's true. I forgot all about Adam Warlock, who is supposed to be coming in Guardians 3 as well.
Huge rumors for him coming in, but then he didn't.
Maybe that's kind of how they're going to bring the Soul Stone thing back.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, the chat's also saying that the cassette was destroyed. Instead, he got Microsoft Zune.
Yeah, you forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Fuck.
Zoom. He's got to get the
no,
CD
I was
walker
say he'll
first.
probably have to sacrifice himself or something. It'll be something. The whole thing is like I'm more interested in seeing Captain America go up against the Red Skull again once he takes the stone back and realizes that he's face to face with the Red Skull.
Oh.
Like that, I think will be the most interesting of the stories. But again, this is just me spitballing. Again, yeah, truly spitballing. But John, did you have a story or two that you wanted to throw into the mix for tonight from Bounding into Comics?
Hold on.
I missed the Dark Crystal talk, man.
Just basically it got canceled. Lisa Henson said they're going to shop the show around. Hopefully they can find somebody to pick it up so they can continue and finish the story. So they said in one form or another, hopefully. Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
I was just going to say, Bounding into Comics by some guy named John Trent posted that story about the new rumor of the Viking star Catherine Winnick for a possible Thor-related role. What do you have to say about
Enchantress?
that, John Trent?
I mean, I like Catherine Winnick in Vikings. She was great. I think I watched the first 3 seasons.
She
and
was fantastic on the show.
Yeah, she was one of the few characters that they wrote really well that could go toe to toe with Ragnar. I really liked the way she was written. I thought her acting was fantastic. I mean, Catherine Winnick is huge. It would be a huge draw. I mean, she's been campaigning to be in a Marvel film, I think, since 2012 when she was saying she wanted to be Miss Marvel, which is Carol Danvers. That's before Marvel Comics even made her Captain Marvel, I think, because she became Captain Marvel in 2016. So she was trying to get the Carol Danvers role in 2012, and she's also said she would like to play Black Canary. So. I think Catherine Winnick is a great choice to get into the MCU, and she's a great actress. And I mean, I think she could play Enchantress really well if that's who they're looking at.
I think so too, and of course that's a scoop from our friend Mikey Sutton.
Yep.
And which I have a lot of faith in him. It's like Harvey Dent. I believe in Mikey Sutton, and I'm hoping that this is true because she would be badass in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different role than what she played as Lagertha. Lagertha is more kind of in your face, whereas Enchantress is more of a manipulator behind the scenes, getting other people to do things for her. Where Lagertha was more like, I just want to go out there and smash faces, kind of. I think that would be really interesting. Definitely test her range.
And another Mikey Sutton scoop.
Can we get a costume like that if she's going to be wearing it?
So what do you got for us here, John?
Yeah, so this was a story that Spencer wrote based off of an interview that Olivia Wilde gave. If you scroll down a little bit, see what the website is. It is...
She's one of those hot, crazy chicks.
Yes, Shut Up Evan podcast, I guess, with a Netflix host. She's basically saying she's confirming that she's working on which she kind of already did with the little the spider tweet. We still don't know if it's Spider-Woman. Right there, there's the tweet right there. Where she's kind of confirming that she's working on a Sony project dealing with a Marvel superhero, and then she used a spider. The implication is that it's Spider-Woman. But if she says, basically what the headline says, that she's excited to reframe superhero stories and infuse the genre with a female perspective. So I can read a little bit of it here to get the exact quotes. So
yeah, go for it if you want to.
Yeah, I'm too worried about it.
Did they Photoshop Olivia Wilde's head on someone else's body?
Maybe.
Where?
No, she's got a good body.
In the top there.
Well,
I don't think so. I think that's her.
I'd like to see her
I've
brought
seen
in
Olivia
into
Wilde
Mad
in
Rapport
person
with
and
Patch.
in movies. She's never been that buxom.
Maybe a push-up bra.
Yeah, it's exactly
all
what
you
it
got
is.
to do is go
Push-up.
see Dr. Lefkowitz. He does very good work.
God.
You can do anything you want. How big you want.
I mean,
Very
I
good.
see what script is saying here, but yeah, I'm thinking it could just be a push-up bra too.
Very good work.
So she shared her excitement with this podcast host whose name is Evan Ross Katz, saying this incredible influx of female directors and storytellers getting to take hold of this genre of the superhero space and infuse it with their own perspective. So not only do I get to tell the story as a director, but I get to develop the story. And that was what made it so incredible for me. And then the actor-director, also expressed the honor she felt in being, quote, amongst this wave of women who are showing up and saying, we're not only going to step in and try and tell the story like men do, we're actually going to reframe the stories themselves. So those are kind of the two big quotes out of that interview that she gave. So it's just who knows what it is. I mean, we've talked about this a lot on our Bounding Live, where these people come out and say a lot of this stuff as like virtue signaling, and then what you get in the end product isn't as bad as what it thinks. I think Captain Marvel is the biggest example of that. But then on the other hand, you get stuff like Ghostbusters 2016 and Charlie's Angels. So
Yeah, very true. But like you were saying earlier, it could just be the way some SJW interprets the script in their tiny little mind.
Yeah.
That doesn't
And we-
mean they
Because
actually get it.
every single woke writer thinks they're going to be the first one to infuse a perspective, and they completely forget all the shit that preceded their existence.
It's a red flag when somebody, at least to me, when somebody says we're going to let them explore his character in their own perspective. That's a red flag to me.
Yeah.
As a director, you should have an idea of what you want this character to be, and direct.
Yeah, aren't you the boss?
Right, exactly. Direct the actors to do what you want.
Well,
But I
not
don't
just
know.
that. You're looking at a system here where you got these are Marvel characters, and if this is something that's supposed to be even adjacent or adjunct to, according to Amy Pascal, the MCU, and funnily enough, we have no idea what deal was struck for the next few Marvel movies and Spider-Man to be involved still. Because have they even said yet if this is going to be the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman or if it's going to be the other one? John, do you know?
So the only speculation that it's like, I mean, obviously Sony has Spider-Man and it's
Yeah, they have all the
Spider-Man
Spider characters
related
except for
story.
like Jessica
But-
Drew and a few random ones. Yeah, go ahead.
The only speculation is literally Olivia Wilde putting a spider on I think it's the Deadline story. So that's why people think it's Jessica Drew, because there were Spider-Woman rumors before that like they were developing a potential Spider-Woman project that was like this unnamed Sony title, and there were rumors that was a Spider-Woman project. And the fact that there's been rumors about Secret Invasion, which is you need like Jessica Drew is like one of the main characters in Secret Invasion, which is the Skrulls trying to infiltrate the United States and the Earth.
Right. Well, because I bring that up because Jessica Drew is one of the few characters that's still over at Marvel, but that doesn't mean that in this recent deal they couldn't have worked something out, was what I was getting at, because that's one of the few Spider characters that did not go with the Sony deal and has never been over there, that they could not use Jessica Drew. There's a version of Spider-Woman they can do, and Spider-Girl and all that other kind of stuff, and Spider-Gwen and a bunch of other characters, but they cannot do the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman without Marvel's involvement, is my understanding.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the speculation on that new deal, at least the rumors, is that Sony and Marvel Studios are closer than ever.
I think so, and that's what I was getting at. Yeah,
that
I think so.
Michael Keaton showing up.
I'd like Jessica Drew to be the
indicating that
backdoor way to
Morbius
get
is
the
MCU.
X-Men.
What was that, Jesse?
I'd like Jessica Drew to be the backdoor way to get the X-Men in, because the X-Men fake died, and then Wolverine was over in Madripoor hanging out with Jessica Drew, and that was like basically Wolverine Volume 2, the first like 50 issues.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, and then like, you know, instead of them being dead, they could just be something else or another universe or some other bullshit, you know?
Well, and it just makes this character a little bit more significant in the movie, you know?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Diego
But
Flores.
in the universe, in the actual comics, she's really not all that significant. I mean, she's just another ancillary character as far as I'm concerned.
She
Diego
plays a key role in the Secret Invasion storyline, though, because the Skrulls take over her, and Queen Varanki is Jessica Drew as Spider-Woman.
Diego Flores sent in a Peruvian 10 souls. Tom, question for the panel today. Microsoft bought ZeniMax and Bethesda, sorry, sort of really hurting Sony with the streaming wars ramping up. What do you think the studios will start snipping shows and creatives? Well, between the current climate, there's going to be a lot of changes. I think Sony's been ramping up on its deals with Netflix, actually. So I wouldn't be surprised if when the dust settles, they're one of the... You're going to see a few of these studios that are just going to buddy up to like Netflix and Amazon.
Yeah, personally, this whole Bethesda deal, I think that this is... if you look at the sales from the last year, PlayStation is 51% of the gaming market. Nintendo Switch is 25%, and Xbox is 24%. So Xbox is dying very quickly. So I think that this is the last ditch money grab for them to try to regain some kind of relevancy, because people are addicted to the Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Yeah, I just
think that this is going to be Xbox dragging down Bethesda as opposed to Bethesda lifting up Xbox.
here's the thing. Xbox has a lot of good things going for it in the sense of like the Game Pass, and now acquiring Bethesda, people who pay for the Game Pass. Like I have both PlayStation and Xbox, so I'm not.
Yeah, people like Game Pass, but how does it make any money?
You're right. It doesn't. It's like for the customer, for the consumer. You know, well, it's for the consumer. You know, it's a value to the consumer, which is nice. But in the same sense, you got to remember this last generation of consoles was owned by PlayStation when it came to exclusive titles. PlayStation owned when it comes to exclusive. Xbox is setting that up for this next generation. They want to be on top of exclusives. They want to be the first system that people go to for Skyrim and all those huge games. So that's what I think it is. I think it's just Xbox trying to play that relevant, like you said, the relevancy game, but be known for exclusives as well. And they have a bigger game list too.
See, that's just the thing, though, because if Elder Scrolls goes Xbox only, that just means I'm done with Elder Scrolls.
Well, you'll be able to play it on PC. They'll still have it on PC as well. But yeah,
PC game, too many modders and cheaters.
Yeah.
Whenever they hit a level they can't beat, they have to download something.
Now, John, did you have something to say on this? It sound like, or are you just?
I think this is just the trend that you're seeing in entertainment overall. I mean, it just follows what Disney did with Fox. What you're seeing with Netflix gobbling up IPs, you're seeing it with HBO Max as well. I mean, it's just the bigger companies are buying up the smaller ones, and they're just kind of becoming part of this bigger pie, and that's kind of the world that we live in right now. Right. So I expect it to continue. I expect to see more of these big deals made where you're seeing other companies get bought out by the distributors. I would consider Sony and Microsoft are like the distributors of those games.
Yeah. Sister Harold sent in an Australian $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Didn't say anything, just sent a super chat. Appreciate the support. Yeah, how does everybody feel about the whole business with the Sony launch of pre-orders and that whole snafu?
Oh, what happened was they had basically hackers who had a program that would refresh the page and purchase completely. So there's guys on eBay that have 8 of these for sale for $1,200 to $1,500 each. Nobody should ever do business with those people.
Agreed.
They're violating the TOS of eBay because they don't have the product in hand. But it's really an issue that has to do with the retailer security as opposed to anything Sony did.
That's right, man. Hey, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Anybody
I'm a flame war guy with these console wars. I can't stand Xbox. It's like a cartoon version of PlayStation. It's just not as realistic looking. It's just not as good.
Anybody else got anything to mention on that, or?
I'm just it's interesting the fact that you would run out of pre-orders. That's weird. I mean, how much stock you got. Wouldn't you want to get your orders in first and then decide what your need is to build? I don't know. Maybe I don't know much about the game industry, but
they started building them. Now they're going to be building them around the clock. My idea is they should open up 2 or 3 more factories and just run them 24/7 because they know demand is like 11 million consoles.
Well, and a lot of times, I mean, you got to remember with the labs, there's going to be games that still come out on the PS4 or the Xbox One as well. So, do you really need to purchase the console right out the gate? I mean, look what happened 360 with the Red Ring of Death. I mean, you got your console right away and then it broke.
That's because it's an Xbox.
Well, I'm just saying though.
Well, Sony had its issues too.
Absolutely.
With PS2 and PS3, because I had to send my first PS3 back. I don't know how many times. Because every time that stupid Blu-ray update would go, it would burn up the Blu-ray.
And how much did that PS3 cost you? It was like $600, right?
I got a hell of a deal on my first one. It was a Black Friday deal. I believe it was a year after it already had dropped.
Okay, exactly. My point right there.
Exactly. Yeah, I could be wrong. I'm trying to remember. What year did the PS3 drop? It may have been brand new.
2006, 2008, something like
that.
Was it 2006 or was it 2007?
Might have been 8. I mean, GTA didn't come out to 2013. I mean, the last gen went on, or the PS3 gen went on for a long time.
I'm trying to think. Because the deal I got had nothing to do with...
why I think what I've seen from PS5 and the Xbox stuff, the only thing I guess there's some hardware upgrades, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's that much of an improvement from...
Yeah, and it was released in 06.
Okay, so then I got, I think, in 07. So it was a year old when I got it, PS3. But the PS2 I got right away, and my PS2 had problems right off the bat.
And there's no question the graphics are always better with Sony. The problem is PlayStation's live is just awful. The live play, which is why I've always stuck with Xbox Live.
We mean live play.
Playing on Xbox Live, playing live against other people.
Where it's behind a paywall.
Why? What's wrong with it?
It's glitchy. I've
glitchy,
always had a
laggy.
problem with. Yeah, it's just laggy, and
You guys know
I never had
Mega
that problem
Jenny,
with
right?
Xbox.
Yeah, I know. What
Because
you mean.
I Mega Jetty and I have a lot of similar games. So we were playing the new Star Wars. It's not new anymore, but Star Wars Battlefront 2 together.
Right.
And I stopped playing it because the way the internet works with EA, man, they don't know how to handle lobbies because it's like
EA's had that problem for
shot,
years.
and on their screen, yeah, it was 3 seconds ago. On your screen, it's now. So it's like problems like that.
It's the
destroy
issue they
online.
have with dedicated servers. It's always the issue with that, and then relying on your players to have a good internet and like America's
That's the
Army. If
thing.
you remember America's Army, one of your players, and you would always find out who it is the host. And if you have a good host, it plays really well for everybody. But then you get this one guy with a shitty internet, and everybody's lagging all over the map.
And everybody's like, "Get out of here with your McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, get
You're cheap."
yeah, cheap bastard.
Well, I didn't want to drag it out too much longer because I know John didn't have too long and stuff like that. Was there any more stories you wanted to bring in, John, from Bounding? Or
We could do this one from that I wrote this morning. It's
All
just
right.
kind of fun.
do a real quick one, yeah.
Let me put it up here. I just thought
Avocados
this
is
was
good.
kind of. I just thought it was kind of funny.
All right, what do we got here? Oh, I was just kind of about to clip on this one otherwise. So yeah, I heard something about this. If you want to give us the overview, John. Since you wrote it.
So the guy who plays Darth Vader in Rogue One, he's a former.
Oh, yeah, I read this.
He's a former kickboxer and boxing professional boxer. His name is what's his name? Something Spencer, I think. Spencer Wilding is his name. So yeah, he played Darth Vader in Rogue One, and he was telling, he's a Welsh actor, so he was telling Wales Online that he's thinking about returning to cleaning windows because he says acting has been put on hold, and if I need some work, I can go back to cleaning windows. He's basically saying that there really isn't. So this guy's done a ton of kind of special effects creature work. He not only did Darth Vader, he was in Clash of the Titans. He plays the guy who takes Star-Lord's bag in the first Guardians of the Galaxy in the jail cell.
Oh yeah.
He was in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. He was in Ghost Rider. He's in Fast and Furious, Presents Hobbs and Shaw, The Golden Compass. He was in Game of Thrones, Men in Black, International. He's in like a ton of stuff where he plays like a creature guy or like a bit role. But he was basically saying that there's no more acting anymore because Hollywood is on pause, and he says he's thinking about returning to cleaning windows. He says, "I'm not above all that. I don't feel I would be lowering myself if I went back to cleaning windows. I used to have I used to have a massive window cleaning round, and I need to do something to bring the money in. I have 2 teenage sons as well as a 27-year-old daughter, and it would be good to set up a company for them to take over one day." He even joked that he might wash windows in his Darth Vader costume, saying he could just use the Force and they would all be clean.
I could charge more.
Yeah. And then he says if cleaning windows doesn't work out, he also says he could go back to being a doorman. He said, or I could go back to working on the door. I was a good doorman. Parents would ring me up and say, if you're on the door, I know my kids will be safe. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. You don't really hear that a lot from Hollywood people. I know we heard something. I think the guy who played, Lee Ehrenberg, who was one of he played one of the comedic pirates in the first couple of Pirates of the Caribbean films, where the ones who get up in the dresses and stuff. He was the shorter one.
Oh, I think I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not glass eye guy, the other guy.
Yeah, not the glass eye, the other one who was always get it together. Yeah, I guess. But he said a couple. he said a couple months ago the garbage man is more important than the movie star too. So you don't really hear that a lot from people who work in Hollywood. So I just thought that was interesting to highlight, and he kind of has his priorities straight where he wants to set something up for his family. So I just thought that was
Well, you kind of
nice
you know,
story.
I expect something like that from a Welshman. So
Yeah.
Well,
Well, there's
that
a whole-
big, I mean, until it's time to play Super Shredder, I mean, what are you going to do?
I was going to say, like, you know, there's a group of actors who are not able to have like a little nest egg or can rely on residuals and other things right now. You know, they don't have the bevy of star roles that, you know, they're not a Johnny Depp, they're not a Will Smith
yeah,
or an
they're
Angelina
working
Jolie.
actors. They're
Exactly,
actually
yeah.
Sweet royalty money.
Exactly. Like their royalties are $5. You know, like there's actors
Well,
like
yeah.
I've
And
seen
the money the
actors on
check gets
TV,
come-
they show
comes
their
in on.
check, it's 2 cents.
Yeah.
I'm actually friends with somebody who is friends with Kevin Smith, and he's shown his residual checks for some of the Kevin Smith movies that he's done bit parts in, and it's literally like pennies sometimes. So it's like,
I took that $5 check, signed it, and deposited it. I heard it
a lot of
$5.
times they just
That's a pretty good check.
I say a lot of times they'll just keep them and frame them and just as like prestigious things more than anything, because it's like, what are you going to do? Go cash a check for 3 cents? And it's like it literally cost them more to print and send that check than it they
Yeah.
paid the
Wow.
actor. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Wasn't that a joke on Seinfeld?
I think
On the
so,
show,
yeah.
Seinfeld.
probably.
Yeah.
His residual checks, and he's like, it's less than the value of the check itself, the paper.
Or the paper's more valuable, yeah. Nikki
Yeah.
D said $5. Exactly how much creative control do MCU directors have over the film they're working on? Only as much as Kevin Feige will let them have. Pretty much.
Yep. It's not a
Yeah,
lot.
it's probably less than half, really.
I suggest you check out our mini documentary on Ant-Man if you haven't. That's probably a good idea of how he works with individuals behind the scenes, because granted, we probably could have got a really cool Ant-Man movie out of what's his name?
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, but by the time Edgar had gotten around to working on the film, the MCU was so deep into its progression that he was unwilling to make the changes and adaptations that Feige wanted, so it just became clear that they were not going to be able to work together. And that just happens.
The way he produces is the way a TV showrunner works. He
Exactly.
really oversees, and his hands are in everything.
Yeah, I think the Doctor Strange, Scott Derrickson exiting due to, quote, creative differences points to that too.
Another good example, definitely, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, some of the people that work for Feige, they don't even know what they're doing until like 2 weeks before it needs to be done. I did an interview with, I think it was the head of visual development over there. They're one of their main artists.
You dropped out.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
But I was curious where that was going, damn it.
Yeah,
I
me
know,
too.
the Marvel censors came in and were like, bam!
Disney got ords.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's it. It was a hit.
Well, he just hopped out early. I'm sure his internet's having some issues. Maybe, well, until he gets back in here, we'll get
He
Mr.
had a power
Wolverine.
out issue. He had power issues yesterday. Before,
okay.
his stream.
Yeah, he
And
had
it's
said
still
something to me
happening
about
as
it. Yeah.
Yo,
Mr. Wolverine. Oh, there he is. Okay, you were just talking about you heard something and then you dropped out.
Oh no, I was just saying that I did an interview with the head of visual development over at Marvel, and sometimes these guys that working for Feige don't even know what they're supposed to do or what he wants until 2 weeks before it's supposed to be done. So they have literally 2 weeks to work on it.
That doesn't surprise me, especially if things are constantly in motion. It's basically like a TV director or showrunner overseeing, a big show, a production like that. Yeah. The Mr. Wolverine 007 super chat for $5 says, the story of that Vader actor reminds me of the guy who played Gordon's partner on Gotham. He owns his own trucking company.
That guy was awesome on Vikings too, by the way.
I like him.
Yeah.
What was that show he was on?
He made Gotham
Was it
interesting.
Grounded for Life?
Which show?
The sitcom?
He had a sitcom called.
Oh
Grounded
yeah,
for
yeah.
Life,
Oh, Donald Logue or whatever. He actually has a
Donald
truck.
Logue. Yeah.
Logue, whatever.
Yeah, he was very good in Gotham because he played a very realistic alcoholic.
Yeah, I liked him in that.
The funny part is, you think he was playing one. Anyway, I'm kidding. Donald Logan's
It's like
probably-
I'm full of blood Irish. This isn't elite.
All right, folks. Well, I know John had to get going, and I think we've covered pretty much everything pretty well. We've had a great audience tonight. Thanks so much for stopping in, guys. We appreciate it. 400 of you watching it. Over 400 at one point.
Nice.
Do check out Bounding into Comics YouTube channel. They have more than just a website. They also have a YouTube channel as well. And Pop Culture Minefield. Check out Gary and those guys over there. Check out Jesse Miller at the Crow's Nest. He does all kinds of video gaming and other kinds of stuff on his channel.
I'm going to be on right after this, actually.
There you go. And Script Doctor, also check out his channel. I think he's going to be dropping another Lower Decks review soon, right? Or what were you working on
Yes,
today?
hopefully sometime tomorrow or Wednesday. Everything's been a little slow. Life is getting in the way at this moment.
That happens. Well, at least
I know
you're
that
busy.
feeling.
That's a good thing, though, that you're kind of busy and not stuck at home still. And Ordsboard, of course, check out Ordsboard's channel if you haven't already. He's got all kinds of good stuff over there as well. Isn't that right, my boy?
I do, brother. I do.
That's right. And Bruce
I'll be
Lombardo.
subbing
Bruce, what up, Bruce?
What was that, Gary?
I'm going to be subbing to everybody.
There you go. Bruce Lombardo sends $4.99. Buy yourself a Line and Kugel Oktoberfest. It's an entertaining show to listen to. Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked all the guests tonight, besides Script, who's always here, of course. But, I gave the other guys the night off and figured we'd have a few more faces on here. John is kind of getting back into the swing of things after becoming a new father. We're glad, father again or new father?
Congratulations.
New father.
New
first
father.
off.
Sorry about that. New father.
Congrats,
No,
man.
no
So
worries.
You're
congratulations.
about to have the greatest time of your life.
Yeah, how are you dealing with all that?
Oh, it's fantastic, dude.
Awesome.
I don't think you can describe the joy. Joy is just a word that doesn't do meaning when
You look at that
your
little
child is born.
head.
You'll never
It's
find the
amazing.
word. Yeah, you'll never find the word to describe it. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely. And
Just wait
Gary,
to show him everything you loved as a child.
and Gary, of course, the Pop Culture Minefield is just blowing up over there. So check out their channel as well. Like I said,
Hey,
Jesse
and,
does his thing. Yep.
Tomorrow's episode is going to be talking about Mandalorian, and Tom was my guest co-host.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we recorded that earlier.
Keith is on holiday.
On holiday.
He's on holiday, mate. Yeah.
Speaking of holiday, Tom, you going to party in Vegas?
I hope so. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go out twice, though. I don't know, man. That's
Let's
going to
skip
be
the
tough.
Star Trek convention. There's going to be a bunch of dudes in dresses and a bunch
Well,
of
it's not so much
annoy
about
you.
the Star Trek convention. Is everybody?
Isn't that what it's
everybody's gonna
all
be out
about?
there. They're going to be doing some big Phantom Menace deal out there.
Just ride with me, Tom. It's all good.
Are you going to have more fun with those people or partying with Jesse?
I'm not saying that.
Look inside yourself. You know that to be true.
I'll have to see if I could afford both, plus having that much time off. But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for showing up here. Check out all these guys' channels. They do great work as well. So, again, thank you for everybody for hanging out, and